welcome back. Today I'm going to be checking out Brandon Herrera. This has been requested quite a bit from me, so I'm finally getting around to it now, and I'm very much excited, but a little bit worried because we are watching crackhead cursed gun images. I guess it's time to have a little bit of just what am I even looking at? A lot of confusion, maybe a little bit of rage. Who knows, honestly. If you are new here, please do consider subscribing. It'd really help me out. I'd very, 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 very much appreciate it. Thank you. Are you ready? Let's go.
Are we rolling? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Cursed Gun Images, one of your most favorite and one of my least favorite videos on the channel. One where I go through some of the internet's most cursed gun images. Some of these are just things I found on the internet. Some of them are submitted directly by you, the viewer, because you love to watch me suffer. I'm your host, Brandon Barbera. Let's get into the Glock and Spall torture. Right out the gate, have you...
The what? The what? We're getting into the what? What?
I'm your host, Brandon Barbera. Let's get into the Glock and Spall torture.
Glock and Spall. Okay. All right. These are new terms. These are new terms. Write this down. Write this down.
Right out the gate, have you ever wanted to be in a bout of fisticuffs, but also want to shoot squirrels and or injure people? I introduce to you 22 caliber brass knuckles.
Okay.
It's gonna be a long video. Funny enough, I think according to the NFA, this weapon is technically classified as an AOW or any other weapon. I feel like there's a bunch of weird shit, like as far as disguised firearms that end up on the AOW list. Like you still have to get an NFA tax stamp, but instead of $200, it's like $5. Already autistically in the weeds. Anyhow, this does bring a whole new meaning to the term brass knuckles. Also, I just love the practical application of this. Implies that if you're going to hit somebody with it, you're going to also shoot the guy directly to your left. Funny enough, that's also how I won my boxing match. Mom, I want...
Pardon me?
That's also how I won my boxing match.
Oh my god!
Mom, I want Mosin Nagant. We have Mosin Nagant at home. Mosin Nagant at home. Yeah, I don't know if this works or not, but this is kind of psychotic. I think the intent is to make this like kind of a takedown rifle. Either that or maybe it's just a meme. But turning a Mosin into something that you use like a pump-action BB gun you had when you were a kid. There's latches and shit there. This might be somewhat functional.
That looks
Either
so
way,
wrong.
Terminally online. And for the Barbie girl in a Barbie world, we have whatever this AR-15.
Listen. Bear with me. Bear with me. I should get this and then go to the range. Bear with me. It would be very on brand. Especially now.
Look, I think that just marketing things specifically to women by just throwing pink shit on it is already kind of cringe.
Okay, do we not do the same thing by marketing things to men by putting camo on it? Do we not literally do the same thing, or literally putting dude in front of the name? You put camo on it and you call it dude. Dude blank. Dude wipes. Case in point. Are they any different? No. But they're for dudes. So you're gonna buy it because you're a dude. You know I'm right.
Women and flamboyantly gay dudes. But that wasn't enough to include it in Cursed Gun Images if it wasn't for the fucking labubu hanging off the handguard. It's like a Funko Pop, but fucking worse somehow.
No, it's like, you know how like COD and different games have like the little trinket hanging on it. Granted, it probably shouldn't be the size of that labubu, but having just like a little trinket, hung somewhere, like, it doesn't seem that bad, right? It's just a little personality. It's just a little personality.
No, I don't get it. I don't understand this generation. 6'7", fuck you.
Oh no, you.
Next. Oh boy, that didn't take long.
Whoa.
What is it with firearms seized in other countries and like their obsession with plastidip bullshit? This looks like a CZ with leprosy. Oh god, this is from Jamaica. I just saw the top left. Hey man, why you got... No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. Honestly, this is probably the best of the improvised guns we have in this lineup.
Oh,
you guys all remember the famous Smith and...
Everywhere I look is pain. Everywhere I look, it hurts. Oh my god.
Methson, right?
Oh my
Never
god.
underestimate the ability of somebody who's high on meth to find the most complicated way of doing something you can buy for $150. There's this one I found recently, which is...
That's fucking micropenis. Brother, no, this is not average, my guy. This is not average. If we're talking, okay, if these are the balls. If we're talking about the rest of this being the balls, or even this, okay? If this is sack and this is shaft, that is not normal. That is not average. That is not. No. Oh my god.
What appears to be a 22 LR revolver with the signature grip tape, which I have to wonder if this was even ever remotely functional. I see there's that little spring there attached to the barrel, like, to the hammer that like you pull it back. It's got the bones. It might work. What I'm really concerned about is that barrel, which looks real fucking small, even
even he thinks it's small.
For 22 LR. Not only that, it looks notably inconsistent and possibly crooked. This whole thing makes a lot more sense when you realize the other details of why this was confiscated. It was a guy, also potentially high on meth, impersonating a law enforcement officer, specifically a U.S. Marshal, in what has got to be the most convincing costume I've ever seen.
U.S. Marshal Deputy. Here's my badge. I got flags on it. Someone said the fit master of disguise. No, get out of here. Oh my god. More like Dollar Marshall. Oh no. Oh no. 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 Oh my god. What is this? Oh my god.
I really have to admire his optimism for thinking he would get far enough along with that jacket to think that he needed to have a convincing working handgun. And then there's whatever the f this is, which...
Is this a tattoo gun? Is this part tattoo gun, part bicycle frame? What? What?
I mean, it looks like a fairly straightforward, just pull back, fire, 22 caliber. And I understand why a lot of these people just use 22 LR. I mean, it's fairly simple. It's low pressure, very low chance of blowing up, and still potentially fatal. I mean, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage, but I mean, with the AM-180, it was considered less lethal. which really just means being a cop in the 1960s was wild. Not getting too far off topic, but if I do not see an AM-180 in the new season of Fallout, I'm gonna show my ass. But anyhow, out of all the crackhead guns I've seen, this is probably the one that, in my eyes, looks most likely to work just from an outsider's perspective. That was until I saw the ammunition it was seized with. So you see a couple of different loads in the same box of CCI. You've got, you know, your typical lead projectiles for a 22, a bunch of crimped cases implying that they are blanks, possibly used in the testing to make sure that they could actually set off the rimfire primer. And then you zoom out and you see what I can only describe as 22 caliber thunder. Your love isn't even straight. Like, it's visibly fucking crooked. Does this look normal?
No.
On meth it is.
This is your brain on drugs.
Oh my god.
2026. Fresh start, same system. Banks win, you pay. Fees and calls piling up monthly. Unless you fight back. PDS Debt has already helped hundreds of thousands cut their debt and put money back in their pocket, not the banks. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, or medical bills, PDS Debt has custom solutions to get you out of debt. And there's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and put that money back where it belongs. Your pocket. PDS Debt is A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews. Why? Because as I said, PDS Debt has helped hundreds of thousands to get out of debt. It's about to be a new year, and it could be a new you, one that isn't in debt. So don't wait another month. Take back control in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment at pdsdebt.com/bh. That's pdsdebt.com/bh. pdsdebt.com/bh. Also, a big thank you, as always, to the sponsor of the channel, sdi.edu. If you've ever thought about getting your start in gunsmithing and weapons technology, you can check them out using the links down in the description and in the pinned comment. Now, unfortunately, back to cursed gun images. Now this one comes straight from our brothers in the English language, the UK. Turns out a young man has converted a staple gun to be able to fire live cartridges. You may remember this oldie but goodie from cursed gun images long ago, where somebody had converted a staple gun to be able to fire a 22 caliber long rifle. Judging by the ruler in the bottom right-hand corner of this photo, I'm assuming it was also a crime when they did it. But apparently a man by the name of Jamie Young in the UK was given a 5-year sentence for doing the same thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god!
Jeez. This is also just telling me that staple guns are apparently alarmingly easy to convert if you have the willpower and, again, potentially methamphetamine. But that's crazy. Converting something off the shelf to be a single-shot weapon and getting 5 years in prison. In the United States, as long as you're not a felon, making your own guns is perfectly legal. That being said, this is also the UK, where if you say a naughty tweet, you also get thrown in prison. Pour one out for the homies stuck behind enemy lines in the UK. We love you, we see you, we are equally embarrassed on your behalf by your government.
Oh my god.
Seriously, the free speech stuff is getting bad in the UK right now. What was that one recently where they had the woman who got sexually assaulted by somebody, and then she said a naughty thing about the person who had sexually assaulted her, and then she was the one who got arrested? Insane. I've never been more proud of my ancestors for throwing tea in that harbor. Anyhow, while we're shitting on European countries, let's go to the French. Don't tell
Brace.
Ian I said this, but I still, I haven't put hands on the FAMAS yet. I'm not sure what to feel about it until I do, but I do know a lot of the French rifle enjoyers seem to defend it quite a lot. So for all of you who stan the FAMAS, may I present to you Thomas the Tank Rifle. It's just a shitty FAMAS skin.
Oh my
Look,
god.
it's still my opinion the best thing to ever come out of France was Expedition 33. The FAMAS has to earn my love. I will say, however, this does remind me of the original Mac 11
oh my
lunchbox,
god!
or whatever the that was, the Thomas the Tank Engine, like little clamshell thing with the Mac 11 in it. And if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you already know why I brought that up.
I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8, 38s, 9, 9, 10 Mac 10s, the shit's never end.
Maybe I'm getting old, but there's nothing I love more than like shitty early 2000s internet humor. Back before we had AI slop to generate this shit, right? Somebody had to have autism. Respect. This next one is like when you're driving home and you want McDonald's. No, we have McDonald's at home. Well, what if you're driving home and you want an MP7? Well, apparently Poland has an answer for that as well. MP7 at home. Yeah, apparently the Polish PM63 was being converted over into a relatively modern submachine gun, or PDW, however you want to put it, which looks like a big plastic housing on the front that just, yeah, it's kind of a conversion kit. I mean, actually, half of these look 3D printed. I'm just now seeing the layer lines on the one on the bottom left. Which, look, I can't really talk shit. I mean, before I had MP7, I had MP7 at home. It's cool until you realize it's cope. Cope from it, seethe from it. MP7 arrives all the same. At the end of the day, cope is in the eye of the beholder. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with ghost guns. You know, 80% lowers, whether it be like a Glock or an AR-15 that are made of various different materials. A lot of them are polymer. Some, especially the AR-15s, are aluminum. One that you don't often see is wood. Wood with a bunch of screws.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh no.
An erector set worth of steel brackets. I don't know what kind of upper that is, but I guarantee it's a PSA. Honestly, just for the meme, I kind of respect it. Especially when you realize that the buffer tube and the stock are just PVC pipe. There's no end to that buffer tube. It just keeps going, actually straight up through the plumbing, through the pipes, into the underwater level of Super Mario. On a scale of 1 to dangerous, yeah, I'd try it. Now this next one looks like a fairly innocuous, just modern carbine. Except to a tiny margin of you out there that are nerds and have played Escape from Tarkov. In which case, if you take a closer look at the receiver, you'll notice it's actually a Keter. You know, that super shitty starter, scav, submachine gun you get in that game? Say what you will, when you're barely scraping by, that Keter makes the cheddar. Apparently some company in Russia, I guess, was turning these into full-on, full-length carbines. Barrel length and everything, a necessity in Russia to be able to sell it to the civilian market without being labeled as a pistol. So in general, that's already kind of cursed. But if you just zoom in on that muzzle brake, I can't let this go. The Ketter's chambered in 9x18 Makarov, typically. That is an obnoxiously large muzzle brake. On top of that, I will never understand the Russian fascination. Pull up the inside of like a VSS suppressor, okay?
What?
I'll never understand the Russian obsession with just putting bent washers in shit. I do want a Keter.
Why?
Is it good? I don't know, probably not. But I just want one. One of these days. Now to something I don't want. When we think about combat rifles, we tend to leave out the combat rifles of our forefathers. It's not all just AR-15 derivatives. There were things that people marched into combat long ago with, like, for example, the Lee Enfield. Saw a bunch of service in World War I and II and was beloved by infantry troops across the globe. And it made it 100 years in the future just for some Redditor to do this. I will never understand.
Why? What? What? Is that what? Uh, why?
And fascination, which is putting AK underfolders on everything. Okay, I do kind of understand. AK underfolding stocks are like cheap as fuck. So like if you're just like looking at like trash blasters and like crazy shit, crazy projects to do, I kind of get it. Also, the irony was not lost on me that the only Lee Enfield I have in this room is that one. In my defense, there's historical precedent for that, but we'll get into that later. No, we won't. I got into it before. I made a whole video about it.
Ooh!
Yeah, no, straight up, that's an AK underfolding stock that's affixed to that. You know, AK underfolding stocks, notorious for their great cheek welds. Look, I want to hate it. I really do. The more I look at it, it kind of goes hard. I don't know. You tell me what you think.
What?
Cursed or,
No.
you know, maybe blurst. You know, not quite blessed, not quite cursed. It just, something about this is hitting a funny bone with me. I'm not sure. Do you feel the same? But alas, is it really a Cursed Gun Images episode if you don't have a high point? I still need to make a handguard for it, but here she is. A high point JHP 45. The frame comes off with 2 bolts in under a minute. AK underfolder. Again, with the AK underfolders. Just a washer over it with a screw. High point owners, you know. I love he's got like the spray painted fake light on the slide on one side. I'm very curious. The longer I look at this, the more confusing it is. Look at that spring on the barrel.
I could honestly never look at this again. And my life would vastly improve. What?
And the fact that this is 45 ACP, but you have like a fucking Walmart hunting scope on top.
Ew.
Looks like the stock at least does collapse, which is, you know, at least that's relatively functional. But man, that stock angle is absurdly low. Absolutely no cheek weld in sight if you're using that scope. But you know what? It's a high point. These are like the classiest of the meth heads building guns. The aristocracy of the Smith & Methson guns, if you will. But at least most of the high point enthusiasts don't have access to a welder, because then things could get really nasty. Drum roll, please.
I'm scared.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What in this fucking stop sign? Grandma's furniture. Learning how to weld. What am I looking at? What is even... What? I'm scared. I'm just concerned. I feel like you'd fire around and it would get caught. I don't understand.
I don't have a name for it. Best I got is the low point. It seems to be predominantly a PPS 43 with a Thompson foregrip and a high point upper on top, kludged together with what I can only assume is a MIG welder and some JB weld. The PPS with the wood stock does go kind of hard, but not now. You got the mag weld right below. Oh God, I don't know. There's so many. The question in my mind is always like, does this actually function? And in this case, the answer is, I hope not. I mean, the magwell's in the right place, but I guess just to harken back to an old Cursed Gun Images joke, where to bolt go, though? I haven't seen anywhere for it to actually cycle, but either way, this is actually the gun that inspired me to make another one of these videos, because it just hurts my fucking retinas. And if I had to see it, then so do you.
I mean, that's fair, I guess.
Oh! Anyhow, I'm about to bleach my fucking eyeballs and recalcify my pineal gland. I appreciate you guys for staying all the way to the end, and as always, I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thank you, and if I don't see you until then, Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you. Bye. God, I wasn't ready to call it sexy. What the fuck? Nice.
Anyhow, I'm about to bleach my...
No. What were you gonna say? Huh?
Chlamydia, your father's here.
Oh my god. Okay, all right. Even though I am highly offended that my eyeballs were so assaulted, I rather like this. I really like his humor. I can see why he was so requested. I don't know if I can suffer through more cursed guns, but I might have to. Please make sure you check out the original video. It's gonna be linked down below. If you like my video, make sure you like, subscribe, so I can see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.